ඡන්දයකට නම් එන්න එපා අපේ ගම් වලට කියන්න තමයි අපිට තියෙන්නේ.
අනිවාර්යෙන් ගඩොල් බයිකින් ගහන්න කියලා.
ඊට වඩා කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ.
Hello there, very good evening and welcome to your primetime weekend news bulletin with me Shane Silva sitting in for Arundhati Mudanayaka. Let's start off with a look at your headlines.
Leading by an example is better than providing advice when creating a country free of drugs. Statement by the President. Minister partly reveals that the former President used money for the protection of his family.
මිලියන 800ක් කරියා. යුද්ධය යන අතරේ තමන්ගේ පවුලේ අයට බෝම්බ ගහන්න එපා කියලා.
Prime Minister expresses his opinion on Brexit.
අපේ මතය නම් එක්සත් රාජධානියේ ඒ තනි යුරෝපීය වෙළඳපොලේ හිටිය යුතුයි කියලා.
Dengue raises its head once again. Government Economic Affairs Advisory Subcommittee recommends ground handling operations of the Katunayake Airport to be handed over to the Airport and Aviation Services Limited.
President Maithripala Sirisena says that in the process of creating a drug-free nation, an example is better than precept. The President made this statement addressing the 6th phase of the A Drug-Free Nation national program held in Nuwara today.
The event was jointly organized by the Presidential Task Force on Drug Eradication and the Nuwara District Secretariat. During the event, special badges were given away to students who had dedicated themselves to curb the menace of drugs. Members of the Sri Lanka Police Force and the Civil Defence Forces were also felicitated at the event.
Nuwara districtයේ අවුරුද්දකට අරක්කු සහ සිගරට් වලට ජනතාව
Annually, the Nuwara district spends nearly 16 billion rupees on alcohol and cigarettes. Another astonishing fact is that more women tend to consume such substances than men. The Venerable Sangha and other religious leaders are already playing a major role in eradicating drugs from our society. However, we need more involvement in this process, especially from the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education, all government sector employees as well as politicians. But you should understand, the biggest issue facing us is everyone speaks against drugs and is of the opinion that they should be eradicated. However, you need to have a strong backbone and a level head to take such decisions. That is why example is better than precept.
ඒ නිසා අවශ්‍ය වෙන්නේ අවවාදයට වඩා ආදර්ශයක්.
Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, addressing an event in Galle today, expressed his opinions on Brexit or the United Kingdom's decision to leave the European Union.
An event was held at the Galle Town Hall today to promote the activities of the United National Party. Party membership was also provided to a number of district representatives.
අපේ මතය නම්
Our opinion is that the United Kingdom should remain in the single European market. We send 40% of our exports to that market. If the United Kingdom leaves the EU, it will cause an economic crisis. This will not affect the large-scale apparel factories in Colombo. Instead, it will affect smaller companies in rural areas. We hope to enter trade agreements with the United Kingdom. However, we cannot say how exactly it will be done. After UK's decision to leave the EU, financial markets crashed along with the value of the sterling pound. It is a problem for us. 10% of our foreign reserves are in sterling pounds. This will affect other countries in the same way it affects us.
ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ බොහෝ දුරට බලපානවා.
In other local news, the Ministry of Health states that due to the extensive spread of dengue in the country, it is now being classified as an epidemic. As a result of this, the Minister of Health, Dr. Rajasena Ratna, has instructed health officials to begin operations to seek and destroy dengue breeding grounds through a door-to-door operation.
International reports suggest that the dengue disease has spread throughout the globe with no disparity between caste, creed, race or religion. According to the World Health Organization, nearly 2.4 million cases have been reported annually in the years 2010, 2013 and 2015. The largest number of cases, 1.5 million, was reported from Brazil in 2015. The highest number of cases reported from the South Asian region is from India. Dengue raises its ugly head from time to time in our country. The spread of the disease began to speed up following the incessant rains experienced in most parts of the country over the past few months. 4 districts have now been identified as high-risk zones. These districts include Colombo, Gampaha, Kandy and Ratnapura. 31 deaths and 19,731 suspected cases of dengue have been reported in the island during the past 6 months. 9,393 cases were reported from the Colombo district. The epidemiology unit points out that a majority of cases within the Colombo district have been reported from the areas which fall under the purview of the Colombo Municipal Council, the Hewala Mount Lavinia Municipal Council and in the Kulanawa municipality. The Ministry of Health, responding to the epidemic, has taken steps to bring down all fumigators present in the government hospitals to the Colombo district, and operations to fumigate highly affected areas commenced yesterday. This is what we were able to witness when we toured Colombo and its suburbs today.
These are all mosquito bites.
The child in this house was in the hospital a week ago. It is the same in this side of the area. There are a lot of children in the area. No matter whom we report this to, we have not received any solution to this problem. We have to get some men in the area, collect 100 rupees from each house and clean these drains. They fumigate the area. There's no point in it because some people in the area just throw things here and there. They don't clean it.
We also inspected the other districts which were named as dengue high-risk zones.
We have small kids here. It's better if you can clean this waterway. There is garbage in these drains. They clean this from time to time, but nobody maintains it. My child was admitted to the Kalubovila hospital and has been under treatment for 5 days.
If there are any coconut shells near our houses, they lodge a complaint. They shouldn't take these people to court, but the ones who clean this. This is my son. He contracted dengue. I'm requesting you not to let any child go through this sickness.
The data collected by the Ministry of Health reveals that dengue breeding activities show a 6% rise in schools and a 2% rise in work sites when compared to last year's figures. The Ministry of Health also states that red notices regarding dengue breeding grounds have been issued to around 70% of the building sites in Colombo. Taking this situation into consideration, the Health Ministry has taken measures to initiate Shramadana campaigns and special door-to-door programs to seek and destroy dengue breeding grounds. The 3 armed forces, police and civil defence personnel have also been deployed for this purpose.
Day 10 of the Newsfirst Think Again National Public Service Initiative, which has prompted a renaissance and discourse of civic responsibility, worked off today. The campaign also provides a platform for voters to express their frustration over broken promises.
Think Again. Is your vote working for you?
The Newsfirst Think Again initiative got underway in 3 districts today. Our teams in the Trincomalee district visited areas including Kinnia, Idiman, Alankani and Ikshantivu and inquired into the well-being of the citizenry and their satisfaction with their public representatives. Residents of these areas where the fisheries industry provides a livelihood highlighted the shortage of drinking water and the failure to provide some of the welfare payments appropriately as their main grievances.
மக்களுக்கு வேண்டியாண்டு அவங்க வந்து அரசியல் மேடையில் பேசும்போது அவங்க ஓகே, ஆனால் பதவி மாறும்போது அவங்க அங்கே இருந்துடுறாங்க. முக்கியமாக அத்தியாவசியமான பொருள் மரக்கறி மீன்லாம் வந்து அத்தியாவசியமான பொருள். அப்போ இதை மக்களுக்கு என்ன செய்யணும்? இதை விலையை நாங்கள் கண்ட்ரோல் பண்ணி கொடுக்கணும். நாங்கள் வந்து புதுசாக பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணல, நாங்கள் அடிப்படையாக 15-20 வருஷமா
ஓட்டு கேட்க மட்டும் தான் வருவாங்க, பிறகு வாரதே இல்லை. அதுக்கு போடுவோம் இதுக்கு போடுவோம் சொல்லுவாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் திருப்பி எலெக்ஷன் தேர்தல் வருதா அப்போ
The story of this woman, a resident of Ikshanativu, is a tale that encourages the entire citizenry to rethink their decisions at the ballot box. While touring areas including Yalwela, Kudalunka and Morana in the Badulla district, it became evident to our reporters that the citizenry of these areas have been deceived by their public representatives.
We have made written and oral submissions and no one has refused our request, but nothing has happened to date. We hope that at least this good governance regime will fulfill their promises. If a minister or MP comes to this area, the holes in the road will be filled by the provincial councillors. But after about 2 or 3 weeks, the roads are in a dilapidated state once again. They say it will be done tomorrow or the day after, and they give false promises. When they win the election, none of the parties come and even talk to us. This is the state of the road. You cannot travel on it during the drought, nor can you travel on it during the rainy season.
A Newsfirst team also visited the indigenous community in Mahianganair to inquire into whether election promises made to them have been fulfilled. Newsfirst spoke with the chieftain of the indigenous community, Uruwarige Wannila Atto.
We
voted for them anticipating change, but that has not materialized. These people have come here and told various stories to my people, but these have turned out to be naught but lies. Everything has become a lie. Our teams in the Kurunegala district visited numerous towns and villages including Kalugamuwa, Jayawardhanagama, Kalupane, Kanavasiradunna, Rikillagama, Ganewanna, Iripitiya and Wallawa.
කොන්ද කෙටිලා තියෙන්නේ. කෙටිලා සුසුම්නාව හිර වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ වැඩට යන්න ඇත්තටම බයයි මට. ආය ඔපරේෂන් එක කරන්න උන කවුද වගේ කියන්නේ. බොරු පොරොන්දු දීලා ලැජ්ජ නැතු වෙනවා. ඒකයි ප්‍රශ්නේ.
This is the access road to the village of Kanavasiradunna. Over a period encompassing several elections, politicians have promised residents that this 3-kilometer stretch of road would be repaired and renovated. However, these have proven to be simply empty promises.
මීටින් එකක් ගාලා ඊට පස්සේ බහින්න යනකොට කොල්ල දුන්නේ බහින්න ඊට පස්සේ එයාගේ පුජ්ජලික සැල්ලෝ නිහදලා දෙන්නම් කිව්වා ඉන්න කකුල් දෙකේ හින් කැක්කුණා උදේ ඉඳන් තම මාරටත් දුවනවා අමාරුවෙන් තමයි යන්නේ දෙකේ කකුල් එහෙම හැන්දහාවක් වෙනකොට හොලවන්න බැරි තත්ත්වයකට ආවේ නවත්තන්න කියලා ඩිපෝ එකේ කියන්නේ දුනු කැඩෙන කොච්චර හරි බස් එක ඉතින් අපි අර ගමේ හින්දා ගමේ එකමට කරනවා මේක මේ කොළඹ කොළඹ ආයේ පාර යන්න බෑ මෙහෙ වෙනවා ගන්නකන් ඉන්නවා අරන් ඊට පස්සේ කිලෝමීටරයක් දාලා දෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙත් ඡන්ද දෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඊටකින් හදන්නම් කියනවා කොයි හදනවද ලේට්ටුන්ටි යනවා යනකොට තව ලෙඩක් හැදෙනවා ඒකයි වෙන්නේ අපිට නම්
දැල්ල ඉස්පිරිතාලෙට කිට්ටු වෙනකොට මෙයාට බබා හම්බුණා කිව්වා මේ පාරේ ගිහිල්ලා තමයි එන්නේ යාට ඡන්ද ගත්ත දවස් ඉඳලා කිසිම දෙයක් නෑ බලන්නකො පාරක හරකෙකුට එළවගේ හරෙකුට යන්න බෑනේ මේක මේ වලකට පස්තිකක් දැම්මේ ඒ සරි බලා ගන්න වෙන තත්ත්ව කොහොමද කියලා හැම දේශපාලකයාම එනවා ඡන්දේ ගන්නවා යනවා
අපි උපන්දා ඉඳන් මෙහෙම තමයි මේ පාර භාගෙට හැදීගෙන යනවා ඡන්දේ කාලට එන ඇමතිවරු පොරොන්දු වෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ ඡන්දි වරුණාට පස්සේ ඒව අමතක වෙන එක තමයි වෙන්නේ.
Villagers in Jayawardhanagama lamented to us on the hardships they are facing as a result of the failure of the political authorities to fulfill a promise to repair the road leading to the public cemetery.
පත්කරාට මේ පාරවල් ගැන මම කිසිම උනන්දුවක් නැහැ. දැන් බෝක්කුවක් දැම්මත් අදාළ තැනට මේ බෝක්කුව දාන්නේ. ඒ ගිහලා කැලෑවක දාන්නේ. අපි හොයලා සල්ලි දීලා තමයි මේ ලයිට් උනත් ගත්තේ. දුන්නේ නැහැ කවුරුවත්. මේ ආපුවම කියලා යනවා, හදලා දෙනවා, පාරවල් හදනවා. දුන්නාට පස්සේ ආයේ පැත්ත පළාතකවත් එන්නේ නැහැ.
Villagers of Kalupane, who have made a livelihood for themselves out of the pottery industry, expressed their woes to us.
අපිට තකපෝරු දෙනවා කීවා, මඩු හදාගන්න තකරන් දෙනවා කීවා. අපිට මේ බොරු පොරොන්දු දීලා ඡන්දේ අපි අපෙන් කොහොම හරි ලබා ගන්න. ලබාගෙන අනිත් ගමන අපි කිව්වට කිසිම ගණන් ගන්නමක් නැහැ. දෙනවා කීවට හම්බුන්නේ අපිට ඒවා. තකපෝරු දෙනවා කීවා. ඒ වගේ එකක් හම්බුන්නේ අපිට.
The Newsfirst Think Again National Public Service Initiative will get underway tomorrow as well.
lives. The Matale District Party Convention of the Jatika Helorume was held yesterday under the auspices of Minister Patali Champika Ranawaka.
A large number of people, including district representatives of the Jatika Helorume, took part in the convention.
We call on Mahinda and Gotabaya to show us at least one instance where they said they will defeat terrorism, be it at the 2005 presidential election or when the Mavilaru Anicut was closed on the 27th of June 2006. They did not say it. They said they will discuss the matter when they come into power. They sent 800 million during the war, asking not to bomb their family. Even though Sarath Fonseca was bombed when he was the army commander, and even when the soldiers sacrificed their lives, Mahinda Rajapaksa did not do anything. Mahinda only started opposing the LTTE when his brother Gotabaya was bombed. That is when he stood with both his feet and decided to go to war.
Former President Mahinda Rajapaksa attended an event in Narammala today.
The event was held in line with the opening of a sermon hall at the Sri Sudharma Rama Vihare in Ranasgalla, Narammala. We built 1,000 science labs in schools. I'm pointing this out because the Minister of Education is also in this electorate. Remove the boards which mentions my name and at least visit those places. My name is not Mahindo there. If you want, you keep the name or remove it. I don't have a problem with that. This is something I gave these children. I will have to seek assistance from the CID and the FCID. There isn't anyone else to assist me.
In the meantime, another phase of the Samatha 7 housing project took place in Anamadua today under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa. Housing loans were given to 405 beneficiaries, and Minister Sajith Premadasa also took steps to resolve certain issues faced by the area residents. Something that we very often hear from the joint opposition, also known as joint destruction, is that the government is taking revenge and that they are being hunted. I say this to the joint opposition. Today we don't have an evil court system. We have a court system which will safeguard and protect the country. The parties which accuse the government of taking revenge and hunting can come before the court of law and prove their innocence. Once after the court decides what to do, those people can reach a decision on what they want to do. UPFA MP Vasudeva Nanayakara says that there is a necessity to stop the governor of the central bank exiting the country once his tenure concludes on the 30th of June. The MP expressed these views at an event held in Amlipitia. The biggest problem that persists in the country is the debt burden. There is also the problem of high interest rates at present. Our allegation is that the loans that were obtained on high interest rates were used for some dubious necessity through the governor of the central bank. He was the person who ordered to issue a high number of bonds and made the interest rates go up. It took place in the wrong manner. Now there is an investigation carried out by the Auditor General. When such an investigation is being carried out, it is of utmost importance. If there is a possibility to cancel the passport of the governor of the central bank who made the country incur such a big loss, it should be done. His passport is a Singaporean passport. It will be hard for Sri Lanka to cancel that passport as the main defendant of a case pertaining to a large-scale loss that was incurred by the country. When a criminal case is being followed regarding him, we should think about at least limiting his travel. The JVP convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
3 months ago, COPE carried out investigations into the central bank. Thereby, COPE has arrived at a decision that it needs an audit report carried out by the Auditor General through his department regarding the bond scam of the central bank. That investigation is taking place at present. We have received information that the report will be compiled and completed by Tuesday. On Wednesday at 2 in the afternoon, the COPE committee will convene in Parliament to study the matter further.
The parliamentarian also expressed views regarding the debt crisis in the country.
The Auditor General has made a note on the debt obtained by the government. According to him, the debt limit stood at 1.7 trillion 80,000 rupees. However, they have obtained loans amounting to 3.5 trillion 49,805 rupees. The difference is 1.5 trillion 69,805 rupees. They have exceeded their limit by almost 100%. This government is saying that they obtained loans to pay off those obtained by the Rajapaksa government. The government's theory is to obtain loans to pay off loans. However, you cannot exceed the values agreed upon in Parliament. The only place this can be investigated is the Parliamentary Finances Committee. We will raise the proper questions with regard to both the central bank governor's issue as well as the issue on exceeding the debt limit. We have no need to protect anyone.
On Frontline tonight, we have political commentator Bandula Jayasekara. A very good evening, Bandula.
Good evening, Shane.
Bandula, the Newsfirst Think Again initiative, it's creating a resurgence, almost a renaissance amongst the community, especially the rural community in Sri Lanka. What do you make of this?
Yeah, because normally, Shane, in the past, they wait for 5 years to go and vote, and they don't put any pressure on the politicians. Now things have changed thanks to our network, because we are telling them that to think again and over, and they are listening, and they have their problems. So this has completely changed thinking, and they are standing up for their rights. Shane, this is what I saw during my visit to Matale and Laggala. They will not keep quiet. That's really what happens in other countries. Now with this awareness campaign has helped a lot.
Bandula, you mentioned the fact that you were in Matale and you were in Laggala, and you've seen a resurgence in the political thinking. Now the Newsfirst Think Again program, as well as its predecessor, the Gamma, the door-to-door campaign, created a platform for the community at large to come out with their grievances and to air their whatever the issues that they were having. Do you think the political representatives of this country, especially the government and the opposition, do you think they are addressing the concerns of the people adequately?
No, they are not. In fact, what they have to do, Shane, is to watch what we are doing. Watch the government. I think, as well as we are aware, only Minister Faisal Mustafa responded and said he's going to support it. But others are not. Like, take the opposition, whether it's opposition or the joint opposition. They're just screaming and they're only worried about their things. This is what the villagers are saying, that if they watch this, there is this report put out by the University of Peradeniya together with us. They have tabulated it. But if they can go through that, we watched that people don't want the politicians to come to their households. They've said they will use brooms and bricks. They threaten because people are unhappy. They have had enough, Shane. So it's time for the politician, if they are genuinely concerned about the masses, to take note of this campaign.
Bandula, there is as you so rightly pointed out, there is a momentum, there's a certain level of energy that is being generated through this Think Again campaign. How do you think this should be channeled forward, and in what direction should it move forward?
The thing is, Shane, like the media, as we are doing it, but that's not enough. But again, the question is, are the politicians, are they listening? They are not. This is what these people said. Like I saw in Laggala, there's a huge protest. Like they have a coffin and they're protesting it. And these are poor people. I mean, they don't know whether they will be able to give a better life to their, take the bricklayers, what we made. They could give a better life to their children. But these people are only concerned about their luxuries, what I mean, the politicians, and to, whether they select a Benz car or BMW. So that has to change. But I think media is playing the role of the real opposition now.
Bandula, on that note, thank you for joining us on Frontline today. The Government Subcommittee on Economic Affairs has recommended that all ground operations at the Bandaranaike International Airport be handed over to Sri Lanka Airport and Aviation Services Limited. The operations are carried out by Sri Lankan Airlines at present.
In its recommendation, the subcommittee explained that since the management of Sri Lankan Airlines was commercialized with a partner company, ground-level operations at the international airport should be removed and kept with the government. The Department of Government Information said that according to the Civil Aviation Act No. 14 of 2010, ground-level operations should be carried out by a party that has a government shareholding in excess of 51%. Accordingly, the duty of carrying out ground-level operations will be handed over to the Airport and Aviation Services Limited. Today marks International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. The theme for this year's International Day Against Drug Abuse is Listen First.
The United Nations International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking falls on the 26th of June each year in order to raise awareness of the major problem that illicit drugs represent to society. Listen First is an initiative to increase support for the prevention of drug use that is based on science and is thus an effective investment in the well-being of children and youth, their families and their communities. In his message on International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon said, quote, "On this International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, I call on countries and communities to continue to improve the lives of everyone blighted by drug abuse by integrating security and public safety with a heightened focus on health, human rights and sustainable development." Unquote. The Secretary General also added, quote, "Governments have a responsibility to counteract both drug trafficking and drug abuse, but communities can also make a major contribution. Families, schools, the civil society and religious organizations can do their part to rid their communities of drugs. Businesses can help provide legitimate livelihoods. The media can raise awareness about the dangers of narcotics." Unquote.
St. Peter's College Bambalapitiya defeated St. Anthony's College Katukasota in their first encounter in the President's Trophy Knockout Tournament quarter-finals today. The Antonians put forward a strong showing in the first half of the game and were leading 25 points to 19 at Lemons with three tries, 2 conversions and 2 penalties, while the Peterites scored 3 tries and 2 conversions. However, the lads from Colombo 4 made a comeback in the second half to win the match 37-31, scoring 2 tries, 1 conversion and 2 penalties. The Antonians only secured 2 penalties in the second half. And that's a look at your news bulletin for tonight. Thanks a lot for joining me. Take care and have a good week ahead.
896 www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback at newsfirst.lk.